Ja. Ik heb net van Thomas gehoord dat dat moet. Dus,
nee, anders dan het klein mag maximaal 1 minuut binnen blijven staan.
Ja, 1 minuut, klopt ja. En dan krijg je dan die geel. En dan krijg je iets van 20. Maar daar heb ik nou niks van gehoord. Ik zal het nou voor de zekerheid even vragen.
Ja, graag.
Per kombinere. Put it on hold and
Alleen bij de kwalificatie. Ja. Nee, nou.
Oh, nu
niet. Nee, maar ik heb voor zekerheid dat gevraagd dan.
Mag voor 6,5 Zwiekau, ja. Ja, jullie slapen, wij zitten aan de auto. Maar dames ja? Ook of niet?
Time is ready. Okay, thank you.
Ja, dat eigenlijk wel. Ja, vooruit dan maar.
Hij loopt alweer hoor.
Ik zal hem op het lijstje zetten.
Om 8 uur gewoon naar de dingen toe rijden.
Je mag ook daarheen gaan, dan zeggen we, als je het zegt, dan zeg ik zo. Jij maakt het. Nou wil je een vlag van een emmer neergooien. Haalt het. Hij komt bakken. Ik heb dat ding er.
Lekker cool. Ja. Lekker cool. Green light. Green light. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Complete.
Weil da Rotax drüben ist.
Vielleicht müssen wir das beenden lassen. Acho que eles viram hoje.
Ausvallen.
Chyba po nieco mówię. Ale to na Sei sem vai como.
Stejně bych nevěděl, když jedu všichni, tak bych se nevyjebal.
O cara dostal, on dostal sítě. Viděl jsi to? Jenom teď on dostal. Ne, on vlastně tam seděl. Ne, on ho pustil na čas. Jo, už tam je na nic.
Ten týpek tam není.
Ne. Jsou tam jenom ty doktoři. Druhý ty doktoři.
No to pustí ve 44.
Takže ve 47 jde.
we uitloop. Hebben we uitloop.
Moet je nou even nog een EHBO naartoe gedaan?
Wat dan? Serieus? Dus we lopen uit?
Ja, dat loopt nou uit.
Oké, dus... Oké.
Oké, een beetje krijgen of niet echt.
Oké. Dan geef ik het door, ja?
Ja.
Oké.
We going now.
we have green light, green light. hij is blijkbaar wel dicht. Hè? Hij is blijkbaar wel dicht.
maximaal een minuut doen, anders, anders heeft niemand de tijd.
Ja, mooi.
Dus de lijn over, als je 1 minuut. Andere is erachter, 5 kwalie, dat is goed. Ja, of moet je op de taal?
Ja.
Ik denk dat je op de taal moet. Nou, oké. Ja, dat is hier weg.
Bazen o şey.
Geen kwaad, maar alles. Ja? Toen had hij snoep met gepakt mee.
Wacht maar daar. Wacht maar. Pak die wel. Die maar aan de kant. Hij is ook 1 meter. Nou, zo erg ook weer niet. Oh, dat komt vanzelf. Dat komt vanzelf. Ben maar niet bang.
Je hebt
Jij gewoon meekijken. Zo, ik heb nog bukken toch?
Zo met één handje zo die stuurste vast.
Denk je iedere keer in de training al. Boems. Als je rouw eens één rondje wil starten, dan ligt iedereen eraan. Dan zal ik de motor wel verzekeren.
Jij ging gewoon die blok terugzetten zeker, hè? Ja, dan kan je die blok zetten. Ja, daarom. Niks voor niks de Engelse vlag erop hoor.
Maar nee, want dat is de hele tijd zo. Hoor.
Ja, daarom. Ja, hè, dus. Ik hoop dat ik een stukje bellen kan.
Gevaarlijk. Mooi, wat dat ook geen punt krijgen. Nee, dat is echt goed punt. Hij is echt maar goed.
Mama is
Oh, en de vader is er net.
ja, ik hoop het. Nee, dat ik zeg, ik hoop dat ik dat stukje Belgisch aan ben.
Dat is dan een stuk kaas.
Ja, dat is wel even knap. Dat was wel het voordeel.
Dat is nou. Dat is de moeder. Doe je een beeld.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the third round of the Rotax Max Euro Trophy season, being hosted here in Eastern Germany at the Motorsport Arena Mülsen, just about an hour and a half's drive outside of Dresden International Airport. But firstly, before things get underway, we would like to send our well wishes and our prayers to those regions in Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, the Netherlands, that have been affected by the severe flooding over in the western part, adjacent to where we are now, with over 100 fatalities recorded so far and over 1,300 people currently missing, with homes, livelihoods destroyed. We send our best prayers and wishes to those affected at this very, very difficult time. However, it has been a little bit of a hiatus since our second round of the season at Adria Karting Raceway, but we are fast approaching the first set of qualifications for tomorrow and for Sunday this weekend, which will then nicely take us through to the final round of the championship, which is being hosted once again by the Pro Kart Raceland circuit in Wackersdorf in Bavaria between the 3rd and the 5th of September. Nearly 100 drivers here this weekend, over 20 different nationalities, and an additional class has actually joined us once again. We were visited by the DEKM, the German Electric Kart Championship, last year, but now as part of the Project E20 Tour, E20 is here with us for the final 2 race weekends of the season. Now, we do normally give away 9 Rotax Max Challenge Grand Final tickets, but in cooperation with BRP Rotax, there will be 3 tickets for the Rotax Grand Finals in e-cars, which is the all-electric E20 taking place at Bahrain between the 11th and 18th of December. We'll have 3 tickets to give away. The person that wins this weekend here, the one at Wackersdorf, and also the one that wins the championship at the end of 2 rounds. So a big thank you for Rotax for allowing this to happen. Also good to see some familiar faces in the paddock, such as Daryl Smith and Steve Chapman from Rotax themselves here to help facilitate what is going to happen. But 5-minute qualifying sessions all the way through this afternoon. The biggest contingent that we have is senior Rotax with around 31 drivers. So they will be split into 2 qualifying groups. And first up, we have Junior Rotax. Coming into this round, Kai Rielets is leading the standings. The defending champion from last year is currently on 86 points. Bruno Mulders rounds out the top 2 on 52 points. Thomas Strauver rounds out the top 3 ahead of Tim Gerhards and Tom Bracken, while Tom Bracken and Tim Gerhards have been otherwise engaged. So they are, as far as I'm aware, not here this weekend. We do have 22 junior Rotax drivers, which it looks to be the fact that it's a tie, pretty much a nigh on a tie between the Netherlands and Germany for having the most representation here this weekend. Matthijs Turlo running at the top 6, Max Krappen, Ethan Jeffall, amongst others. Some of the drivers were actually here this past weekend for Rotax Max Challenge Germany, which includes the likes of Farin Mega. You also had Austin Lee and Richard Thomas, who compete in that championship anyway. Casper Schormans also joined in the ante. So a few drivers have been able to get some well-needed mileage under their belt. But we are seconds away from getting qualifying well and truly underway here for Euro Trophy Round 3. Now it's a bit like the car park on the M25. Everyone's trying to get out, and it looks like there's a bit of a traffic jam because the 255 of Mikkel Pedersen has just gotten in the way of Farin Mega in the 276. There's Luca Kerster on the left-hand side of your screen as they now get underway here at the circuit. Opened back in 2019, 1,315 metres. In terms of circuits that I've commentated at before, the one that has a bit of correlation to this would be PF International at the home of British karting in Leicestershire in the United Kingdom. It is a circuit that I have had the pleasure of commentating at last week for Rotax Germany, but also for the opening round of the Rotax Max Challenge Germany season, and to see it here for Euro Trophy, it just goes to show how Saxony has always embraced motorsport. And we're going to get our first few drivers coming across the line, the 2 of which are Kai Rielets and Bruno Mulders. They set the initial benchmark, 58.377 for the current reigning and defending champion, and who is also the points leader coming into this round. Matthijs Turlo not too far behind. And we've got the likes of the 297 of Great Britain's Ethan Jeffall. 2 Brits over here in this class. We've also got Chloe Chong, who had a bit of a blast with Project E20 earlier on this weekend. Got a taster of what Project E20 is capable, and really enjoyed how the all-electric drivetrain was able to get around the circuit. But everyone out of the 22 drivers here this weekend have gotten out onto the circuit, and they are putting in laps. So we're going to get the first few real benchmarks, and Rillet sets the pace 52.0, Mulders 52.2, Turlo 52.2, Strauben 52.4. Rafael Renhofer, who's back to full fitness after his incident in Adria 6 weeks ago, up at the top of the, close to the sharper end of the timesheets. 4th place for the German. Kasper Schrommans in 9th place. Nick Gerhards rounds out the top 14 ahead of Farin Mega. Top 15 covered by 1.4 seconds after just the real sort of benchmarks have been laid down. But expect the times to quickly tumble here in Mülsen. And at the moment it is 24 degrees Celsius, highs of around 25. And we will get qualifying completed probably when cloud cover starts to envelop the circuit. As all results called by myself this weekend will be provisional pending any judicial and technical matters post-session. Kai Rillet's top of the timesheets, 51.6. Ethan Jeff Hall goes to within 0.125 of a second of the Belgian. Matthijs Turlo, Max Knappen, Magnus Pedersen, Thomas Strauber, Bruno Modders, Rafael Renhofer, Daniel Sugar and Chloe Chong rounding out the top 10. Top 18, which is rounded out by Germany's Austin Lee. Well, it was top 18, it's now top 20 as Alberto Kiko Fracassi from Strawberry Racing goes up into 9th place with a 52.199. So down all the way to Austin Lee and Janis Diak, who ran at the top 21, with Israel's Yaron Stultz rounding out the order. We go into the last minute and a half of the session. So with 22 drivers, there will be no second chance heat. There's no second group of qualifying. Everyone's in the same boat as Max Knappen goes quicker by 3 1/1000ths of a second ahead of Kai Rillet. So 51.605. And now some of these drivers need to be up to speed, because otherwise they're impeding the drivers behind. And Austin Lee looking to try and get through on a couple of the drivers ahead, one of which probably could be Vic Stevens, who now starts ramping up the wick on that Dames racing car. Jan Dames, as always, a well-known presence in the paddock. Always good to see him, and he always gives me a bit of a ribbing whenever I see him next. So hopefully when I see him at Wackersdorf, the boot will be on the other foot. I don't know what he's been saying behind my back. There's one of the 2 UAE drivers in, well, there's actually 4 here this weekend. But up until this point, Danny Shields joined the ranks of Junior Rotax here in Europe, back at Adria. He got P3 in qualification. He's currently running 11th. And he is 12-1, well, he's basically... he was 11th, he's now 12th, ahead of Austin Lee, who's started ramping up the pace. It's not been easy for a lot of these drivers, because now this is their final attempt. The timer is about to hit 0. And at the moment, it is Ethan Jeff Hall has absolutely come out of nowhere. And the young Brit running in Minimax over in the United Kingdom for the Vera Tools Motorsport UK British Kart Championships. Runs as a junior over here. Very much the same sort of thing as the Czech. It is out for the session. Like say, I think it was Reese Hunter who was running as a junior over in the UK and then ran as a senior. But Ethan Jeff Hall, top of the timesheets. Kai Rillet's not on pole position. He's down in 5th place as more drivers cross the line. So Austin Lee goes P13. Magnus Pedersen 11th. Rafael Renhofer manages 8th, but with the top 8 covered by just over 2.5 tenths of a second. A few more drivers to cross the stripe. Mikkel Pedersen and Janis Diak goes P7, but it is Ethan Jeff Hall from the United Kingdom, the 297 entry, that takes provisional pole with a 51.322. And that was 20. This is how close it is, folks, all right? Between anyone that was from 1st to 9th position, look how close the gaps are. 27 thousandths was the deciding factor in pole position. So Ethan Jeff Hall takes pole in Junior Rotax. Then it is Max Knappen, Thomas Strauber, Farin Mega, Matthijs Turlo running out the top 5, covered by just over a tenth and a half. Kai Rillet in 6th place, ahead of Janis Diak, Bruno Malders, Rafael Renhofer, and Mikkel Pedersen running at the top 10, covered by half a second. Alberto Kiko Fracassi 11th, Magnus Pedersen in 12th, Kasper Schumans in 13th, Austin Lee and Daniel Sugar from Hungary round out the top 15. Danny Shields, he's got some work to do tomorrow, starts 16th. Nick Gerhards, Chloe Chong, Guy Albag from Israel, Vic Stevens, Richard Thomas, and Yarin Schultz, they round out the 22 strong, and the top 21 drivers covered by 0.998 seconds at the end of that session. So there is one session done and dusted. We will next up in just about 7 minutes time. We're going to head to our first of 2 qualifying groups for senior Rotax. So 31 drivers in total. And there is Flint Schuring and Luna Blum. Flint Schuring, actually, congratulations to him. He took a victory, his first victory, I think, if memory serves me correctly, at corner karting at Spa-Francorchamps this past weekend just gone. So well done to him. We've got some regular faces. But coming into this championship, it's been the battle of the Brits at the front end of the field, and you can throw in the odd occasional, maybe a Belgian, an Emirati, a German, and another Brit in there as well. Because at the moment, it is Callum Bradshaw, the FIA OK Senior World Champion, that is currently leading 2 second places at the first round of Genk and 2 victories on finals day in Adria, giving him a total of 90 points coming into this round. So everyone's got to be on their A game to try and scupper his run to the title this year. We will have a new champion for 2021. But there is some news that I might have to divulge, probably post-race weekend, because it looks like someone is going to be making a welcome return to the championship. And I'll tell you in due course. Mark Kimber, multi-time champion, 2016 Junior Rotax Grand Finals champion in his own right. Luca Lystra, current leader in the B&L karting series, is on 57 points. He's 7 ahead of the only Emirati to ever qualify for the Grand Finals outside of the United Arab Emirates. Lachlan Robinson completes the top 4. The current reigning and defending Rotax Max Challenge Germany champion, Linus Hensen, is just a few points behind. He's 7 points behind. And then runner-up last year, but also last year's B&L Karting Series Senior Rotax Champion. He might run under a British flag, but he is an Aussie at heart. Sean Butcher from KR Sport rounds out the top 6. With the fact that Butcher and Robinson were 2nd and 3rd in the championship standings, expect, hopefully, that there's going to be some good work from the awning at KR Sports. I understand that thanks to Ash Whiteman, Lachlan Robinson's mechanic, he says, well, what does my guy do on the pre-grid? He plays Pac-Man, and he's using the chronometer to do it. Now, that's something I'm going to have to find out about when I get to when I next get to a race meeting in Europe, whenever that will be. Hopefully that will be in the not too distant future. So 2 qualifying groups have been set out, drawn by electronic lottery, and we will have 15 in Group 2, and we'll have 16 in this first group here. And it has been, I mean, if I'm completely honest here, I'm looking at it at the moment, and just with how everything is looking at the moment with regards to the championship and the standings at the minute, it is going to be very much nip and tuck as to who's going to get pole position here in Mülsen. It is a very technical track. There is a lot of straight lines. There is also quite a few technical parts, multiple chicanes, multiple heavy braking zones. There's Luca Lystra, who was also one of the drivers here this past weekend at RMC Germany, which hosted their 2nd round in as many weeks. Well, not quite a double header, but as close as damn it to what we had just a few weeks ago. A warm welcome to everyone watching at home. A big thank you for joining us here on the official Camp Company GmbH YouTube stream, and also our live timing. If you want to head to our Facebook page, there is a link for the official live timing, but you can also go to Rotax Max Challenge-Eurotrophy.com, click on the icon for Mülsen, and then you can scroll down, and then it will click for live stream, and live timing. We're also on socials, so at Rotax Max Euro Trophy, both on Facebook and on Instagram. So quite a few different nationalities here this very weekend. I know for a fact that there's going to be quite a few people watching. Obviously, here in the Euro Trophy paddock, we want to send our best wishes to the recovering Oliver Breitenbach, who had a hefty incident at the opening round of the Rotax Max Germany season in Wackersdorf just 3 weeks ago. But I know for a fact that he's on the mend, and all the very best to him. So as always, senior Rotax qualification. It's a very, very difficult one to call. And whenever I get asked, oh, who do you think's going to put it on pole? It's like trying to pull teeth. You know, which one are you going to pull? Is it going to be a wisdom tooth? Is it going to be a molar? Is it going to be one of the incisors on the front of your face? Who knows? Who knows? But it's just one of those things where you can't predict anything. So from my perspective, I'm looking forward to just seeing what happens and how it all unfolds in front of us, as everyone is now getting themselves readied to get behind the wheel of their carts, and quite a few drivers getting in. Max Stemmerding close spot 347. Erhard Turker, and now he's right behind his teammates, Luca Leistra. So in this, we've got the likes of Luca Köster, Callum Bradshaw's in this group, Leicester's in this group. Good to see Victor Frostbay rejoin the championship after a lengthy time. I can't remember the last time the Dane was with us. Zino Kovac is in this group as well. Tobias Poschik, Sam Bergstein, Henson, Blum, Flint Schuring. Obviously, Flint's brother Morris is racing elsewhere in Porsche Carrera Cups these days. So he's definitely gone on to bigger and brighter things for 2021. And so have other drivers. Martin Henkel Moderson running in Super GT in Denmark. As well, Guilherme de Oliveira, who we also wish a speedy recovery. He's just running in Spanish F4 with a team backed with Fernando Alonso's blessing. He's currently recovering from COVID-19. He's just tested positive ahead of a race weekend. So get well soon, Guilherme. Another driver that has raced in this championship with KR Sport in years past. So just under a minute remaining. So who can stop the rolling freight train steam locomotive that is Callum Bradshaw from Great Britain? Well, this is only one part of that equation you need to get correct. You've also got the likes of all the heats tomorrow, where we're going to have 6 senior Rotax heats. They'll be split up into groups A, B, C, and D. All other classes will have their own respective races. We've got a total of 28 races this weekend here at Mülsen. So there is going to be plenty of action for you all to get your teeth into this weekend ahead of what is going to happen over the next few days, because believe you me, you will not at all want to keep your eyes off of the action.
We have green light, green light. 1 minute!
So, qualifying, the timer has officially started. Each driver must be out of the pre-grid within a minute of the lights going green. And we did have a problem before at Karting Genk where people were trying to get out and it got a bit frantic. So they've got 35 seconds. They need to start moving now, and I'm sure that someone has got to blink first. And there is Callum Bradshaw behind Max Stemmerding, looking as cool as a cucumber. He's just waiting and just just chilling out a little bit. He's like, yeah, all I need now is a deck chair, and here we go. They're all going to start flying out and get out of there quickly because the timer is fast counting down, and the last driver to go out, let's see, they'll make their way out onto the circuit. So I would think that's probably Luca Köster from Kraft Motorsport that has ended up being the last one. Now, that guy has a victory to his credit here. Last year, Saturday, race 2, RMC Germany season opener, it was wetter than I don't know what. And then all of a sudden, he comes flying out of the final corner. He's trying to do the moves on somebody else, and then goes out of the final corner. Both sidewalls hit on the left-hand side, hit the wall, and he keeps the foot planted. So it is the Buvin power duo of Luca Leistra and Ehad Turka that are going to start things off. So it is an outlap at the moment, and they'll probably get maybe 3 to 4 laps at their very, very most in terms of how many laps they can put in. So this will be the benchmark for Group 2 to set. Now I have been hearing that some interesting things, that there seems to be a good bit of confidence at KR Sport. Strawberry Racing is always on point. Buvin Power, you can never count them out. JJ Racing, they've got a few drivers in this season. I mean, 3 of which are in this. Dams Racing, Kraft Motorsport. Good to see KMS Europe in the fold as well. As Leistra crosses the line first, 50.949. Ehad Turka, there's a 51.2, but then Callum Bradshaw goes to within 38 thousandths. We saw a very, very consistent, commanding display from Bradshaw at Adria. And if anyone might remember, 6 weeks back, I have to remember, it's part of my job, effectively that Bradshaw, I don't think wanted to push like crazy. He was happy enough being where he was, and he just knew that, you know what, it's on the Sunday where it really counts. And that is precisely the point. Sometimes some people go all hell for leather, but at the moment, you've got the top 11 covered by just over 0.96 of a second. Sam Bergstein in the Tony Kart 341 entry is 11th position. Victor Frostbay is about a second off as Callum Bradshaw goes provisional top of the timesheets. 50.910 from the Brit. Leistra doesn't improve. Linus Henson third. Sean Butcher from KR Sport goes to within 7 thousandths of Luca Leistra. Rounds out the top 3. They seem to be working on their tyre strategies. Obviously, as soon as you start fighting in the way that things are, and obviously you have to use scan tyres beyond a certain point, hopefully using the older tyres will help with regards to rubbering in the circuit. And as you can see, there is a lot of rubber and marbling around the sides of the circuit. But Callum Bradshaw, with just over 50 seconds to go on the clock, is still there or thereabouts. He's a fraction ahead of Leistra, but can Leistra, can Butcher, can Kovac even do something? Zino Kovac. Linus Henson is definitely in the thick of things, and no one has got maybe any higher than 39 thousandths between one space and another. And Callum Bradshaw puts in a 51.0. Leistra puts in a 50.988. Sam Bergstein up into 12th position, as we've got 24 seconds on the clock remaining. Callum Bradshaw looking to be the fastest in Group A, or Group 1 of this 31 strong grid in terms of senior Rotax. And at the moment, looking down to Victor Frostbay, who's exactly 9/10 of a second off the pace of Callum Bradshaw. He is 14th, is the Dane in the 369, currently running on the Energy chassis. So the checkered is out for the session. Bradshaw goes in 2 consistent lap times there for the Brits. Sean Butcher goes up into second and puts in a 50.940. He pips Leistra to second position. Zino Kovac in 4th, and Austria's Tobias Poschek of KSB Racing rounds out the top 5. Callum Bradshaw has got the time to beat. 50.910 from the 358, based out of Leicester, and likes to get it all crossed up from time to time. That is the time to beat. So looking at the results, Callum Bradshaw takes the session ahead of Sean Butcher by 3/100ths of a second. 9 1,000ths back is Belgium's Luca Leistra. Zino Kovac, Tobias Poschek, Linus Henson, Luca Köster, Max Stemmerdink, Ehad Turka and Sam Bergstein round out the top 10. 0.395 between them. Flint Schuring set his lap time exactly the same as Bergstein, but Bergstein got it first and thereby takes 10th in the session. Luna Blum only just over 4 tenths off of Bradshaw's time. So good work by Luna. Lucas Hartmann in the 3:06 13th, ahead of Victor Frostbay, Christopher Zaxter, and Gilles Chloé. So that is the first group of qualifiers for Senior Rotax. We will have, it's a bit of a shorter session this time around because obviously no micro, no minimax. Those who are wondering, we are unable to run in Germany under our restrictions reference. There's different regulations reference what the DMSB require for micro and minimax. But however, the good thing is that the Project E20 has stepped in and filled the void, where we've got 14 drivers from 10 different nationalities. There is Zombor Kovac. And just to, so it's definitely, he definitely likes his tattoos, to Zombor. Got quite a few. He's got a good sleeve or two going on there, as the Hungarian. And we've also got quite a few other drivers. Benedek Vida, also from Hungary in this group, amongst others. Christian de Klein, last year was a junior. Patrick Donica from Poland. Nick Cuppens, always... he was actually here this past weekend, as was quite a few others. So Zombor and Zino Kovac, both here. Looks like that's Christian de Klein in the background, 399 from the Netherlands, running in his Team Netherlands race suit, the one that he would have worn for the unfortunately cancelled and revised dates for the 2020 Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals. And you've also got Mark Kimber over there. You've got the 351 David Lackner from Speedworld, from the Speedworld crew, both running on Tony Kart chassis. Alexander Abkazov, the sole Georgian in this field. So quite a few drivers here, 31 of them in total. And the time to beat, and I know for a fact that don't count out Mark Kimber when it comes to Callum Bradshaw, because the pair of them, they can get very, very close in terms of the times that they set on a respective qualifying session. So for those wondering about the running order after this, we will have DD2, DD2 Masters, and then Project E20. So it is a shorter qualifying session than what we would normally have here on the Euro Trophy itself. But the good thing is, this is pretty much what we will end up being like for the rest of the 2021 season. So there has been a lot of free practice here. And also there are some drivers, actually, if I'm honest with you, when it comes to Project T20, there's going to be a few familiar faces. There's also going to be one person that is actually going to be doing double duty this weekend. And I wasn't at all surprised. We've actually got a returnee from Euro Trophy years past who has decided to jump into the void with Project E20 and see how it all goes. So a little bit of the wait around happening at the moment. 24 degrees air temperature. Sunday looks to be a fairly overcast with sunshine kind of day. There's also a few other, just having a look there. I think I can see, Elliot Galvanin's name pop up on his card. Good to see the Italian back with us. Third in the 2019 Grand Finals in Sarno, on home soil, no less. So good to have Elia back with us. So this is just the waiting and biding your time kind of point. We've got just a minute to go before the pre-grid is cleared here in Mülsen. And it is a pretty good facility. They've made some upgrades in the past couple of seasons to make sure. And I noticed that some of the Project E20 drivers were actually making their way into the indoor karting arena, which are full electric karts. And one of them was Ellis Spiezia, who's one of the multiple drivers that have come over from the German Electric Kart Championship to also give themselves a bit more running with the kart. And that's not a bad thing, realistically, because you get some drivers that will stick to a particular circuit or a particular format of kart, you know, whether it's internal combustion engine or full electric drivetrain. And so, yeah, he was on his social media earlier on this week. He was putting in some laps in the indoor track. So just goes to show that you can't keep a good driver down, and they will use every trick in their arsenal to get up the order. So now the mechanics leave the pre-grid. So we do have a couple of the title protagonists in this session. So we will have Mark Kimber, we will have Lachlan Robinson in that mix as well, amongst others. Former champions in this class, Hannes Morin, the inaugural champion back in 2018. And then for the last 2 seasons, it has been it's been in the hands of Matilda Olsson from Sweden. So Sweden is the only nation out of all in the current honour roll of champions that have actually clean sweeped one class so far. But could that change? I think very much the case that Sweden will relinquish the title. There's Francis Paulo Besoncenet, who will be up next in DD2. He was busy getting some vitamin D and some getting his tan on in the pit lane off the garage that KMD Le Mans are currently situated at. So good to see him back with us as well. Very, very well known. He's recently showed off a new helmet design. So that's one of the things about racing helmets. It is a driver's preference. They all have their own sort of like little bits, or, you know, where some will go with, say, for instance, national flags. You know, I mean, take for instance Alfa Romeo's F1 driver from Italy, Antonio Giovinazzi, who runs with the Italian tricolore on there. I'm sure that, you know, there's always going to be a little bit of an influence of some respect, something that is close and dear to them. So we are literally a minute away from getting this qualifying session underway. So the time to beat, 50.910 seconds, courtesy of Callum Bradshaw, the current championship leader, coming into this round. And he's leading Mark Kimber by 16 points. But we know how quickly things can turn on a sixpence here in the Euro Trophy. Just ask Mick Knowlton that question back at Wackersdorf after the second final in 2018. And if anyone might not remember the story, well, I'll briefly say it. Mick Knowlton was found to be underweight, disqualified, and Hannes Morin took 2 victories on the Sunday on finals day and became the champion. That's how quickly things can change. And as they say, never say never. The unpredictability of karting very much in full effect. These drivers, 31 of them, will go into battle. Very well. These drivers here, 15 of them, it looks like. And now the timer has started ticking away, just under 5 minutes. They've got to be out within the first minute of this session, otherwise they will not be allowed to take part in qualifying. So who will get up to speed quickly? Because now it's the time to see the mind games happening. Who is going to blink first? Who is going to exit the pre-grid and set the benchmark? Because if you're the one that sets the benchmark, you're the one that is literally putting your head on the chopping block, so to speak. So just 20 seconds to go. They've got to start moving right now, because otherwise there are going to be problems post-session. So who is going to blink first? I've not seen it this close to this, but they've got to start moving quickly. Someone's got to fire up that Rotax engine. Right, there we go. They start moving, and oh my goodness, traffic jam ahoy. And Lachlan Robinson is at the back end of the train. So that would have been Benedek Vida that actually made it out first in front of everybody else. They've got to be up to speed. They cannot delay. They have to be up to full speed quickly. And now they start pushing. Because straight away, race control have been very hot on that in meetings past. And here at Mülsen, it will be no exception whatsoever. 3.5 minutes of this session remaining. Time to beat 50.91 seconds by Callum Bradshaw. And Sean Butcher rounded out the top 2 in that session. So just over 3 minutes to go, and we're waiting for the first drivers to really start winding up the wick on these Rotax Max Evo engines. Of course, we'll have something different with Project E20, which has a 24 kilowatt permanent magnetic synchronous motor that has an integral air and liquid cooling system. We'll get onto E20 when they're about to go out on the circuit, but it is jockeying for position. Quite a few drivers there. Alexander Abkazava, the only Georgian driver that has actually raced in Rotax Max Euro Trophy history since its inception under its current guise back in April of 2018. But Benedek Vida will be the first one to set a lap time, as they are jockeying for position are the Dan Holland Racing drivers, and that was probably the likes of maybe Sasha Klavedecha and Alexander Abkazava. But the first few times will start to come in now. As Benedek Vida will cross the stripe first. There he goes. The Hungarian puts in a 51.256. Lackner goes 4th. Galvanin up to P1. Nick Cubbins 51.089 for the Belgian. And Lachlan Robinson goes top of the timesheets. Hang on a second. We've got something here. 64 thousandths off of Callum Bradshaw's time. Robinson is on the move. And for anyone that might remember when he joined us for his first season in Europe last year, on his 17th birthday, he took pole position at Wackersdorf, which ended up becoming the second and penultimate round of the 2020 season. I still remember that because my birthday was the day after his. So effectively, Robinson is looking rather good here, as now the times are going to start reducing. Galvanin goes quicker, Cuppins goes quicker. Robinson is the one that's got to be watched right now, because Cuppins has gone within and Robinson's gone quicker again. He's probably got another 2 flying laps if he's lucky. A 50.957. It is 47 thousandths. So effectively, if Bradshaw takes pole, Robinson takes second in the amalgamated qualifying post this session. What will happen is that Robinson will be in Group B. So 40 seconds on the clock remaining. It is Robinson, Cuppins, Galvanin, Kimber down in 4th place. Lukatil, David Lackner, Benedek Vida and Zobor Kovac, 2 Hungarians rounding out the top 8. 30 on the clock remaining. Benedek Vida does not improve. Galvanin does not improve. Cuppins does not improve. Galvanin doesn't. Lachlan Robinson crosses the line with 21 seconds on the clock remaining, and he put in a 51.1. Now, does he have one more perler in that pocket of his? Can he actually make sure that he fires that warning shot across the bow of Callum Bradshaw, as Mark Kimber is just trying to get through and make sure that he gets a little bit higher than 4th place in this session. But the check-it is out. Benedek Vida will cross the line first, but keep your eyes on Lachlan Robinson. He's based out of Dubai. He's got Australian parents, he's got Aussie nationality, he's also born in the United Kingdom, so he's got a British nationality as well. Benedek Vida 7th. David Lackner 6th. Bert Dorrestein 12th. A few more cross the line. Robinson does not improve, but stays top of the timesheets by 60 thousandths of a second. A 50.957 by Lachlan Robinson from the United Arab Emirates. Close, but not close enough to grab his second pole position here in the Euro Trophy. I'm sure he's going to be very, very happy with that indeed. So Robinson takes it by 6/100ths ahead of Nick Cuppins. Elia Galvanin And Mark Kimber round out the top 4. Luca Thiel makes it 5 different nationalities in the top 5, make that 6 and 7 respectively, courtesy of David Lackner from Austria and Benedek Vida from Hungary. Then it's Zombar Kovac, who was 8th, 0.314 off of Robinson's top time in the sessions. And Patrick Donica from Poland, 9th. Christian de Klein from the Netherlands, 10th, ahead of Switzerland's Sasha Klavedecha. Beer Dorrestein rounds out the top 12, who were covered by 0.572 seconds. Felix Jansson in 13th, Moritz Schmeis in 14th, and Alexander Alcazava rounding out the top 15 positions in that session. Right, okay. So we have just a few more moments before we get underway with DD2 qualifying. So I'll be back in just a moment's time, and we'll carry on as we pass the halfway point in qualifying here at Mülsen for the 3rd round, the penultimate round of the championship season, which heads to Bavaria, to Wackersdorf, to the Pro Kart Raceland circuit, which actually hosted our season finales back in 2018 and 2019.
Thank you. Big grip complete.
Weil du uns denkst.
Oh, ja,
falsche Gas.
danke.
Falsche Luft. Wo ist das da?
Da, ja.
Da rein. Nicht darüber. Oh Mann.
Künstlerzug ist geschlagen, oder was?
So with just 3 minutes to go, or just over 3 minutes to go, we're going to run you through the standings coming into this round. So after the race weekend at Adria in the last weekend of May, Petr Bezel from the Czech Republic, who, funnily enough, is on our honour roll. He actually was P3, if memory serves me correctly, back in 2019. He currently leads the standings at the moment with 86 points. And unfortunately, it was a difficult weekend for RS Competitions' Matthias Lund in the 4:08. He had a 4 and a no score at Adria. Where is it? It gave the opportunity to drivers such as the current reigning and defending champion for the Euro Trophy, who is on the left-hand side of your screen, Belgium's Zander Schriblak. So it is a case that it's very much open season. I think, you look at the rest of the championship standings at the moment. Ville from Finland, always rapid, but doesn't always have the consistency. A bit of inconsistency at Genk, but he came back firing at Adria. Martin van Leuven was one of the standouts at the opening round of the year at Karting Genk. That put him in 35 points. Jakob Bezel, our 2019 champion, is down in 6th position at the moment on equal points with Martin van Leuven. So it's just really dependent on what happens this weekend. Drivers that haven't had the best run of luck, Paolo Besancone, for instance, had a great first race on finals day at Genk, but it really hasn't worked out for him. We've had other drivers in here as well that, the likes of, Glenn Van Parijs made a one-off appearance. He was our runner-up last year. But, a lot of the drivers. But I have to be really, really honest here. I'm really pleased to see a certain German driver back in the championship. So welcome back, Max Fleischmann. We haven't seen him in a while. So good to have him back with us. I did mention that someone is doing double duty this weekend. That driver is in this class, the 439 of Germany's Long Seifried with FM Racing. He's doing DD2 and Project E20 this weekend. There's also a few other faces that I recognise from my travels in racing. Luca Minoretto's actually here, but not in DD2. You'll probably guess where I'm going to tell you in a minute, but it's Project E20. He's decided to get on the e-kart revolution as well, as we are seconds away from getting our qualifying going. So at the moment, things are looking pretty good in terms of the weather at the moment. It's around about 24 degrees Celsius. Time now, 4:30 p.m. Central European summertime here in Germany. And we wait, and we wait, and we wait. Has anyone got that dodgy elevator music available at the moment, I wonder? We might get pinged for any sort of rights infringements, so to speak. So just like we saw in Senior Rotax Group 2. Right, they're starting to move out. There's Ragnar Virus, Johan Vane, both from Estonia. Two Estonians here. I've just seen Paolo Besancone in the 405. He's now made his way out onto the circuit. So 23 drivers from a multitude of different nationalities. The Czech Republic, Belgium, France, Denmark, Germany, Estonia, and Austria and Poland in this one. So Zana Schriblak and Lawrence Seifried were racing here as well. Mika Metz, Hannes Border, Robert Schorpian, they're regulars in the German Championship, as is the likes of Fabian Bock, who got a P2 last weekend. so keep your eyes on him. Fabian, I remember from the days of when he was a senior Rotax driver, and now has made the move up to DD2. So I have had a notification that the 307 in senior Rotax, who is Sasha Pavedecha, will be dropped 3 places down because of the front fairing. I'm not too sure if I was meant to see that just then, but 3 minutes to go, and it will be the duo from Virilat Baltics, Ragnar Virus and Johan Veen in the 441 and the 459 that will cross the stripe first, followed by Martin van Leuven, Maxime Derich, Sebastian Janchevski, always been good on qualifying, always been good on heat stay, and then as soon as the finals hit, the Polish driver unfortunately seems to have Lady Luck not on his side. And then I think he probably might have had an imaginary black cat sort of walk in front of his cars. Who knows? Van Leuven goes provisional pole. Fabian Bock goes provisional pole, followed by Florian Breitenbach from News Racing. And they're separated by, well, it was 83 thousandths of a second. Ville Line and goes into the 49s. High 49s of a 49.998. Jakob Bezel up to P2, 15 thousandths off. And then a further 4 thousandths back, it is Paolo Besoncenet, Matthias Lund, Sebastian Janchevski on cue, and he blitzes the field on his first flying lap. That is ridiculous speed right there. 49.819 seconds from the Smart Racing Team driver. Van Leuven third ahead of Jakob Bezel and Paolo Besoncenet. Leon Arndt goes up into P11 on a 50.172. Top 11 covered by 3.5 tenths of a second. Matthias Lund jumps up into second place. Now remember, he was leading the championship going into Adria before it all fell awry. Now he was also here this past weekend to get some well-needed mileage. Sebastian Janchevski for the last 2 laps has put in less than a 50-second lap time around this 1,315 metre circuit. So 55 seconds on the clock remain, and Sebastian Janchevski is on provisional pole. It is exactly a tenth between the top 4. Oh, Villelainen and Bezel. Peter Bezel round out the top 4, covered by exactly 1/10 of a second. Is that going to change? Not quite yet, because Leo Kirschenbauer from Austria in the 479 goes up into 9th place, and he is ahead of Zander Schriblak by 33 thousandths. They're still jockeying for position. There's Hannes Borda, and also I think that is the 464, if memory serves me correctly. That is Mika Metz. So the entire 23-strong grid covered by just over a second, as the timer is about to hit 0. That is it. Check it is out for the session. As we get the first few drivers coming across the line. Leon Arndt, 13th. Mikkel Tigerson from Denmark, 21st. Matthias Lund, 2nd. Villelainen, 3rd. Kirschenbauer, 9th. Seifried, 12th. Mika Metz, 15th. Robert Chopian, 16th. Peter Bezel, 4th. Just waiting for the last few drivers to cross the stripe. That will include the likes maybe of Besoncenet. And you look at the fact that the top 7 covered by 0.198. That looks to be nigh on a formality that Sebastian Janchevski has taken the session, but some drivers have yet to complete their final flying lap. But 49.819 is a pretty dynamite time to beat, and that's been provisionally confirmed. Sebastian Janchevski takes another pole position here in the Euro Trophy, here at the newest circuit to have graced us with its presence here on the Euro Trophy calendar roll of honour, as in the circuits that have been on the track. Sebastian Jankowski, by 8/100ths of a second, takes pole position ahead of Matthias Lund. Ville Villelainen in third. Peder Bezel and Jakob Bezel round out the top 5, who were covered by just over a 1/10.5 of a second. Martin van Leuven in sixth, ahead of France's Paulo Besonstener. Fabian Bock from Austria, Leo Kirschenbauer, and the reigning and defending champion, Sander Schriblak. Florian Breitenbach in 11th, head of Long Seifried. Leon Arndt in 13th, head of Maxim de Riech and Mika Metz, who round out the top 15 positions. Robert Schopian, Ragnar Vedes, Hannes Border, Max Fleischmann, Rasmus Vendelbo, Mikkel Tigerson, Johan Veen, and Mark Bartels round out the 23 that completed their qualifying session. But what's more, they also had just over a second between the 23 on that grid. And now this time, next up, we're going to go to our DD2 Masters contingent. 8 drivers. As they say, it's never always about the amount of drivers you have in a field. It's about the quality that is in said field as well. So we have, if memory serves well, we have a few drivers in here. 8 of them representing 3 different nations. So on the left-hand side of your screen, that is Switzerland's Alessandro Glauser. Looks to the right-hand side, that could very much be the case of the very brightly coloured Tony Kart of Christophe Capitan. I did see that Konrad Bayer did walk over from, and there he is. He's got a big personality, just like his stature right there. Always a good man to have in the paddock. Always speaks his mind as well. And then you've also got Michael Becker, who's been in the good side of things here, and also one driver that has been pretty much top of the class so far this season. And that is France's Paul Louveau in the 564. Took pole position at Karting Genk, and then roared his way to victory in adverse weather conditions. So took a maximum score in the opening round. 2 solid second place finishes for the Frenchman in Adria, which puts him in a total of 90 points. But Alessandro Glauser was the double winner back at Adria last time out. Slavomir Moransky was one of those drivers that didn't really have much of a run of luck there at all. We will have a new champion, it looks like, this year, because Roberto Pajewski, not here. Christoph Adams, not here. Rudy Champion, currently leading the B&L Karting Series standings, is not here. The next driver after Louveau and Glauser, and I just look on my list, it is Bruno dos Santos, who is here this weekend at the 523, representing France. He is here. Michael Becker has actually yet to compete in a Euro Trophy event this year. That's a new one for him. Sebastian Humpelhardt is the outgoing champion, but only took part in the opening round at Genk. And there is Paul Louveau. He's wearing his Team France overalls. And there's Tanju Yildiz, the nicest guy in the paddock, with his trademark red racing suits as always. So good to have him with us too. And for those wondering who that chap is that is taking the photographs, that is Timo Deck from motorsportexcel.de. Does quite a lot of work behind the scenes, does a lot of reporting on multiple different motorsports, but also helps with regards to us here at the Euro Trophy. So as always, it's a pleasure to, a great guy. Believe you me, he's one of the nicest guys as well. And he'll always have a chat with people, which is good to see. And his photographs and his writing is absolutely on point as always. Tanju Yildiz, he's pacing backwards and forwards. He is at the moment. But Konrad Bayer, this is actually his return to the Euro Trophy. Now, last year he was running with RS Competition. He's now moved to FM Racing and has decided to embrace the fluoro Comp Kart. Very, very bright in its terms of packaging, but also Comp Kart was the supplier for Minimax, if people might remember, where when we were at the grand finals in Sarno. So they supplied the Minimax drivers with their comp carts. And if memory serves me correctly, I know he's probably not watching or listening, but my good friend, the voice of the grand finals himself, Mr. Henry Baudet, said, "Believe in the fluoro," as comp cart always say. And Marcel Schirmer now the main distributor over in Germany. I think based out of Hagen, which is one of the areas affected. So obviously, hope the Motordrome Hagen gets things back up underway. There's been a lot of disruption with regards to other circuits such as Spa-Francorchamps, the access road to the paddock, completely uprooted in the recent tragic circumstances with the extreme weather that has hit the other side of continental Europe. But the main thing is that we can only give our best wishes and our thoughts to all those that have been affected directly, whether they've lost loved ones or whether their lives have been changed for forever in what's happened over there. Yeah, Alessandro Glauser being mechanic by... Oh, Jan Schwitzer's back in the paddock again. God, you can't keep a good man down, can you? You can't keep a good man down. So good to see Jan Schwitter mechanicking. Was racing with us in DD2 in years past, but has decided to concentrate on being a mechanic for a change. And he's working with quite a few drivers. Paul Schoen, who was actually one of the drivers that was with us in Micromax or Minimax, Micromax just not that long ago. I'm sure he'll correct me if he hears this on the stream later. Oh my God. But we are just a couple of moments away, and everyone, apart from, well, Alessandro Glauser just seems to be sort of chewing the fat with Jan, who's probably on the other side, because with 3 minutes to go, they have to clear the pre-grid, so at least there are no obstructions. And obviously, we know for a fact that we want to make sure that health and safety is of the of it all, and so effectively, this is where these drivers now, okay, there's only 8 of them, but expect some good qualifying. So just from this perspective, just have a look and see who might be a bit of a dark horse. Okay, Paul Levaux, I know for a fact. Marco Winkler, who's with us this weekend. He was battling for a race victory now. Marco Winkler has raced with us before, but on a Sodi kart. He's now switched to Parolin for 2021. And it looks like that man and machine relationship has worked really, really well indeed. And, I was messaging Conrad Bayer earlier on today, and he said, yeah, damn it, I can't get into the 50s. Well, I said to him, there's always time to improve. Maybe that time could come now, and we see him at the sharper end of the grid. But who knows? These things are so trivial in terms of how quickly qualifying can be decided. And we're just under 30 seconds away from getting this session well and truly underway. And then we have one more qualifying session to go. Project E20 here on the Euro Trophy. It is the second time that this particular class, not obviously, this is actually something that is being run through us. So this is separate to the DEKM. However, we have got a multitude of drivers that are competing in that class. And there's 14 drivers from 9 different nationalities. And then the green flag is now shown to the drivers for DD2 Masters. First out, like a rat up a drain pipe, Tanya Yildiz. Then it's Marco Winkler. Then Conrad Bayer decides, well, I'm going to go out there as well. And good to see Camilo Hossinger, head of, is effectively clerk of the course. He runs the striking crew KCT that are with us here this weekend. So Yildiz making his way through the final chicane. It's a double right through a left-hand kink here. So a slight left-hander into a right. And then now you're just going to... Now, just take a look. Now, this is not too dissimilar from karting Genk. They come out of the final corner. There's a slight right-hand kink, and then it goes into a full-on hairpin. But the hairpin is a bit more spacious here at Mülsen in comparison with karting Genk, where you really are tested. And there's no direct right-hander straight away that puts you into a triple right like we have at Genk. So it will be Tanya Yildiz. There's Marco Winkler in the 566. Now, for those wondering, what is the Euro Trophy ticket allocation? Well, it has been exactly the same as it has been over every single season. Top 3 in junior and senior get tickets to the grand finals. The champion and the runner-up in DD2, and also the DD2 Masters champion. But also, in terms of regards to the Project E20, there'll be a ticket available for this weekend for the weekend winner, and then the weekend winner at Wackersdorf, and then the person that wins the abbreviated championship, let's say. So 2 rounds, 4 races that will score points. So Michael Becker has initially put in the benchmark of a 50.592. Michael Becker, well, that's Paul Louveau actually, my apologies there. The Frenchman again at the top of the timesheets, running on the red speed chassis. And then it is a quartet. It was a quartet from these very parts until Christophe Capitan stuck his oar in the middle. Michael Becker and Marco Winkler round out the top 3. Christophe Capitan 4th. Alessandro Glauser rounds out the top 5 as Yildiz and Winkler come across the line again. Yildiz does not improve. Winkler does not improve, but goes to within 31 thousandths of his best lap time. Just under 2 minutes to go in this session, and at the moment Michael Becker now leads. He has gotten 95 thousandths of a second ahead of France's Paul Louveau in the 564. So effectively it is down to how Louveau decides to respond. Marco Winkler could factor into this. You never know what might happen indeed, but your guess is as good as mine. Alessandro Glauser jumps up into P2. Bruno Dos Santos now completes the top 4. And effectively, there's not much happening in terms of changes for position. .497 from Michael Becker. Alessandro Glauser 42 thousandths of a second behind with a 50.539. Paul Louveau for the 53 thousandths, so top 3 covered by 95 thousandths. Then it's a whopping .210 between Louveau, Dos Santos for 3rd and 4th, and then Capitan makes it 3 French drivers in the top 5 places. And the top 5 covered by just over 0.36 of a second as we head into the last 30 seconds of this session. That is Bruno Dos Santos in the 523. Michael Becker puts in a 50.6, and he'll have one more lap to try. The time is fast running out. We're about to have the check it out any second now. So the clock strikes 0. Check it is out for the session. And we wait to see who improves. Christophe Capitan stays 5th. Now Santos crosses the line very shortly. Well, Alessandro Glauser stays 2nd. Dos Santos 4th. So Becker and Louveau. There is Conrad Bayer running in a new number this year, 580. How's he going to fare on the comp car? Antonio Yildiz goes 8th. 1.3 seconds behind Becker, but Bayer, where does he go? 7th, does not improve, but goes a little bit quicker that time. Glauser 2nd, Becker in the top spot at the moment, but Paul Louveau yet to cross the stripe. Does he do anything about it? He gets to within 45 thousandths of a second, so Paul Louveau denied pole position. So on home soil, it is the 526 of Germany's Michael Becker on the comp car chassis. He takes provisional pole in this session by 42 thousandths of a second, ahead of Alessandro Glauser, who rounds out the top two, a 50.539 from the Swiss driver. Then it's a trio of French drivers in the form of Paul Louvot, Bruno Dos Santos and Christophe Capitan. Marco Winkler in sixth, ahead of Konrad Bayer, with Tanju Yildiz, all representing Germany, one of three nations in this class, completing the top eight, with all 8 drivers covered by just under 1.3 seconds at the end of that 5-minute qualifying session. So on your screens now, you have Project E20. It's the second generation all-electric racer from BRP Rotax. The powertrain has been developed in-house. That is the permanent magnetic synchronous motor, which develops around 24 kilowatts of power. And one of the big things is that this has a better... For those that might have seen the Rotax Thunder back in 2018, well, 2019, my apologies there, when it first went out into competition. A very different package, but that was not built in through BRP Rotax. But this system here, where they have the main control unit located where the fuel tank would normally be. They have a boost button, which gives them an extra little edge where you can either attack or defend. And also the battery packs, in comparison with the Thunder, are considerably lighter, considerably more compact. And the chassis being used for Project E20 is the Sodi Sigma DD2 chassis, specifically built, specifically developed in mind with this type of powertrain. So 14 different drivers from 9 different nationalities, and I said I never thought I'd see it again. He's worn it earlier on this season. Luca Muneretto has effectively turned into the Euro Trophies version of Stefano D'Asti, who normally wears jazzy race suits, which includes a bow tie type layout, and you can see him there talking to Laurent Seyfried, who is running in the 777 entry. So a little bit of colour here, either the red of Rotax or the bright yellow here as well. And the thing is that with regards to this is about driver skill and also about energy management. Now, climate change has been a pretty significant bone of contention over the past few years, where governments are looking to stop the sale of internal combustion engines. Alternative technologies are being looked at, such as fuel cell, such as electric drivetrain propulsion, which we're seeing here. And obviously with the recent events with the weather, which has been very much in the forefront, it has dominated the news over the past 24 to 48 hours. Something like this gives an equal platform for all of these drivers. So several of them actually run in the German Electric Kart Championship, including the driver on the immediate right on your screen, the only American in our grid for this weekend, and I understand he's going to be back for the season finale at Wackersdorf. America's Ellis Spiezia, who is originally based out of Hoboken, New Jersey, just outside of New York. Both he, his mum and his dad, Frankie and Michelle, they've actually upped sticks over here to continental Europe, and they actually now are residing in Germany. And he is cool. Well, he's got a hashtag which I sort of had a bit of a hand in coining, because he's gone full electric. That's all he's concentrating on. He is the electric renegade. That's the official hashtag for him. And a big thank you to him for talking to us when he was over in Italy, when they were doing a demo day for the Project E20. The 730 is Mete Argon from Austria, running with Speed World. Then you've got the very dapper-looking Luca Muneretto in his bow tie, his bow tie suit, there with Lawrence Seyfried just alongside. We have another couple of drivers from the United Arab Emirates here this weekend, one of which is currently running in the German Electric Kart Championship, who actually took dominant proceedings at last week's second round on the first day of competition. Theo Kakati in the 7:33. Another Emirati here this weekend is Nadim Kneser in the 7:04. Luca Neuenhuizen, who won Sunday's proceedings last week for the DEKM, is with us as well. Yannick Nielsen, Matas Jakobsen. So a couple of the Danish contingent have come along with us as well. Other drivers that have joined us from the championship, the DEKM, Mats Johan Overhoff. Also, I was quite surprised with this entry, but I'm really excited about this one. Nikita Genza, running with Bühler Kart Soli Germany in RMC Germany at the moment as a junior. Now, for those wondering, are there entries open for Wackersdorf? There will be at the end of this weekend. And this is for any driver that has got their license, and it's respective to the current regulations that we're allowed to run here for Project E20. Their year of birth must be no later than 2007. So basically, from 14 years of age, you can get yourself into a Project E20, and that's probably why Chloe Chong was testing it earlier on this weekend. So 14 drivers. So countries represented in this class: the United Arab Emirates, the United States of America, Denmark, the Netherlands, Austria, Italy, the Czech Republic, Germany, and also Norway as well. Mina Pedersen has joined us in the 791. Lilo Elis Fivriliev. I hope I got that surname right. I probably haven't. That's always the thing. When a new surname comes in, it throws a spanner to the in the works for the commentator. But hey ho, it is what it is. So they will have a 5-minute qualifying session. Now, for those wondering about what happens with regards to the DEKM, they have an 8-minute qualifying session. Well, it's a bit different. They now have to work with Euro Trophy regulations. So supplementary sporting regulations have been put in mind. They will go onto the same scoring same point scoring scheme that we use here in the Euro Trophy. So the weekend winner will be decided at the base of 2 finals on Sunday. So this is you're going to hear a very different noise now. You might have, if you did tune into the coverage last year at Wackersdorf, you'll have an understanding of what these karts are capable of. You can use the boost button in race situations to attack and defend, but you can also do it in qualifying, as we are just seconds away from getting things going. So this is part of the, as Rotax call it, the plug and play system, that you can book your place, but you get full technical support, you get use of the kart, the charging infrastructure, assistance on site, thanks to Daryl Smith and also the likes of Steve Chapman. So timer now will very shortly start ticking away. So just under 20 seconds time, we get going for qualifying. Now, these karts are 140 kilos in weight, and Elish Spiezia, in 2 successive seasons, has pulled that kart, hauled it unassisted. As now, the timer has started counting down, and we have got a couple of drivers that were about to blink. And now the mind games really start. The 757 Jan Mataš from the Czech Republic goes out. Mina Pedersen, I think, has just gone. Fivriliev has gone out. The 749, Luca Monaretto out. So qualifying for Project E20 underway here under this wonderful Friday afternoon sunshine. Local time just gone 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There's Lawrence Seyfried. He's running in the 777 this weekend. So in many respects, this is, you know, having seen it in person, I'm very interested to see how these drivers get on. And this will be, for some people, the first time that they've gotten behind the wheel of one of these things, as Luca Minoretto now cranks the shock level up to 11. Forget the volume, because it's very different here for E20s. As we're going to get the Czech Republic's Jan Matáš probably crossing the line first of all and going through. So there is Lawrence Seifried going past the 7:05 of Fivreliev from Norway. Seifried rounds out the top 6, but they haven't yet gone through and broken the timing beam in order to set lap times. We've got just over 3 minutes in the session still to go. So Matáš will be the first one. Mattias Jakobsen will be the last person to cross the line to set initial lap time. Matáš goes first, 52.302. Mina Pedersen from Norway second. Lawrence Seifried goes P3 with a 52.683. Nadim Kneser and Luca Minoretto round out the top 5. Will make that the top 6 as Ela Spiezia, the American on cue, goes top of the timesheets by, well, was by about 71 thousandths, and then Mete Argun from Austria gets up into provisional pole with a 3/100th advantage and gets into the 51.7s. Well, no, 52.2s. Theo Kakati, the Emirati, goes up into the top spot, 51.746 for the 7:33. So Mattias Jakobsen crosses the line and goes P13 on a 53.526. Nadim Kneser goes ahead of Mina Pedersen and goes P5 on a 52.332. Luca Minoretto now gets past Lawrence Seifried and puts in a 52.379. That is 0.3 quicker than the German. Spiezia does not improve. Kakati yet to cross the line again, but Mete Argun that time puts in a 52.7. And there is the Austrian. So 1.5 minutes still remaining on the clock as Luca Neuenhuizen goes up into P2 in the 7:06. Another driver from the German Electric Kart Championship. Mattias Jakobsen, the Dane, goes up into P6 on a 52.3 dead. 0.554 behind Kakati. Matáš goes second on a 52.065 as Argun trying to wrestle with the back end as he puts it through the corners. And the instant torque delivery very different here on Project E20. Less moving parts. Instantaneous torque. Elis Spiezia goes to within 6/1000ths of Jan Matáš with 40-odd seconds on the clock remaining. 52.071 from the American. Theo Kakati this time puts in a 51.8 and knows that his time is going to be rather difficult to beat. But we're into the last 30 seconds of this session, the final qualifying session of the afternoon. 6 sessions in total. Some drivers will get another lap in. That will be Seifried and Minoretto. They'll cross the line with about 10 seconds on the clock remaining. Minoretto goes ahead of Kneser. Seifried down in 12th position, but the top 12 covered by 0.757. Sometimes in qualifying, it's not always about getting pole position, but it does always set you up very, very well. You see, those two are working together. Seifried and Minoretto, they know each other through past exploits, and the checker is out for the session. Nikita Genza, 6th place. Theo Kakati, the 51, puts in a 51.746. That's his best lap time, crosses the line. Neuenhuizen as high as 4th. Yannick Nielsen in 11th. Mats Johan Overhoff into 13th. Luca Neuenhuizen from the Netherlands goes up into P5 ahead of Mete Argun from Austria. Kneser 9th. Mina Pedersen 10th. Jan Matáš does improve, but one driver that needs to hopefully get up into the top 2 could be Elis Spiezia. And Spiezia goes provisional pole. Oh my goodness, on the die moments. Now, I did speak to his parents earlier on this week and they said He normally does his best laps at the last part. Well, he's timed it to perfection with a 51.686. Now, if memory serves me correctly, that is, I think, Elish Biet. I mean, that's a brilliant. I don't know if he's at a pole position in DTKM, but which I nearly wrote down on my notepad here. Elish Bietsia by 60 thousandths of a second takes provisional pole here in Project T20. Ahead of Theo Kakati from the United Arab Emirates. Mete Argun from Austria rounds out the top three, covered by 0.28 seconds. Jan Mataš from the Czech Republic, fourth ahead of Matas Jakobsen. In fifth place from Denmark, Luca Neuenhuizen from the Netherlands. Sixth ahead of Germany's Nikita Genza. Luca Munoretto in eighth ahead of Nadim Kneser. Mina Pedersen in 10th. Yannick Nielsen in 11th. And it was two Germans running at the top 13, with Lawrence Seifried ahead of Mats Johan Overhoff, with Lilo Elise Frivillaev from Norway rounding out the 14 strong, covered by just over 1 second at the end of that session. Well, that is it for qualifying here for the Rotax Max Euro Trophy. We will be live on the official stream here from 10:15 tomorrow morning, where Junior Rotax kickstarts the first of 18 races tomorrow, with 10 finals on Sunday. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Alex Goldschmidt, your official commentator for the Euro Trophy, signing off, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Take care, sleep well, see you tomorrow.